Hey, Steve, thank you so much. And welcome everybody to Real Estate Friday. Today, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about the marketing, and it's actually an overview of the marketing campaigns that you should use when it comes to listing for sale by owner uh, listings and working with sellers, and what can you offer them. And off the bat, what's the most important part of any campaign for converting a for sale by owner? What's the most important thing? And that is the follow-up. If you don't do it, you will not get their business. As simple as that. So following up, it doesn't matter what kind of campaign you're doing. It doesn't matter what kind of client you're working with. The follow-up is the one that actually makes the deal. So you want to make sure that you are following up, especially when it comes with feasibles. And again, if you don't do it, you're not gonna get the business. And if you do follow up, there's an excellent chance that other agents haven't taken the time and effort to do the same. In other words, if you follow up, you will be doing better than 90% of real estate agents. And you will make an impression on the seller as long as you are helpful, sincere, and knowledgeable. So that said, you have to create a campaign that converts. With over so many, I would say millions of agents in this industry, standing out and getting feasibles to list with you is a huge job. There are a lot of agents pursuing them to get them to list with them. In other words, the campaign that you use makes a huge difference in your success. So that's why we're going to talk about a few strategies and tips that you can implement in your strategy to make sure that your campaign is successful. And let's start with number one, and that is really simple, straight out, which is stand out with your marketing materials. And we talked about this before. Stand out with your marketing material. And that is the first thing to remember, always to stand out. Don't blend in. If everyone else doing one thing, you do the opposite. For example, if everyone is sending out mail or is mailing letters, mail them something different, like a booklet or a pamphlet. If everyone is cold calling them, knock on the door or mail them a letter. Whatever they're doing, do something different. So simple, right? Number two, stand out with your approach. What does that mean? That means is if everyone is going after feasible with pushy sales tactics and messages and script, you got to opt for something different. Opt for a more helpful approach. Help them along the way. See where they are stuck. Offer them some input and build trust and rapport. So it's easy to get the listing when they decide to give up or they decide to list with an agent. Who's going to stand out? You are, and you standing out with your approach. So that is number two. Number three, you got to use multiple steps. Now, what does that mean? So when you lay out your campaign, make sure you use multiple steps to change them up. So you got to do a combination of mailing. You use marketing materials. You're visiting them in person. You're using phone, or you're calling them, or you're texting. When you do these things, usually it yields better results. All right. So use multiple steps. Don't always use the same one to reach out to those folks. Number four, keep in mind that less is more. Keep in mind that less is more. It's better to solicit fewer leads and have a quality campaign than to send out a bunch of mailing without having a plan and a structure in place. So all you got to do is narrow it down and do a good job in a multiple step campaign that uses different steps and different methods to reach your audience, to reach that seller that you have in mind. So again, keep in mind that doing less is actually more. You have better quality and better control. Number five, be in person whenever you can. Be in person whenever you can. How can you be in person when it comes to feasible? Well, one way is by attending open houses, especially on the weekends. It's a great way to meet feasibles, and that way you know that they're home, right? They're expecting people already to walk in the front door. So this gives you a great opportunity to shake their hands and talk to them and give them your information and build a rapport and build trust with that person. It's a great way that would arise once you start meeting them in person. So use open houses to your advantage. And you can find open houses in Zillow and other sites when they are advertising that they're having FSBOs open houses. So that is number 5. Be in person whenever you can. And remember last week we talked about the 3 types of phases that FSBOs have, or we define 3 phases when it comes to FSBOs. Well, in the first phase, we talked about that they're not ready or they're not thinking about listing with an agent. They don't want to know anything about a real estate agent. But in this phase for the FSBO, this is the information only phase, right? That's what we want to provide. At this stage, they're still thinking that they can do it themselves, and they should get acquainted with your that they think they need to get to know you. They need to see that you're relevant and you're providing relevant information about sending their home, and anything you can, right? Information. That's what you got to think when it comes to the phase 1 of FSBO. They don't want to work with an agent. Great. I'm going to send them relevant information about selling a home. And this packages should not be, it's not the opportunity you want to take to send them a sales pitch in that package, right? You will need to prove your value before you try to sell yourself. Show them how they can do it. Give them as much information as you can when at this first stage of the FSBO. Now, if you do this, you'll be able to, or they will be able to appreciate some of the following stuff that you're going to provide. For example, you can send them comparison between their home prices and the other homes or similar homes in the area, with context about whether they're priced the home correctly or not. You can send them information about the area that they might want to share with interested buyers that might come in, and see the house. So information like this will definitely help them, but it will put you now at a better position. Now, if you remember, phase 2 is when they decided to, or not decided, but they're more thinking about, okay, they're open to the idea of you bringing in a buyer and they're paying a commission for it. So this is a good stage to be in. That's how. Now, at this stage, you want to be able to provide them with helpful tips for marketing the home and enhancing the process. Again, phase 2, you want to be able to offer helpful tips for marketing their home and enhancing the process. Now, again, while phase 1 FSBO, they're still stubborn and hard-headed and they're not open to the idea of working with you. They're more into I want to work, sell a home by myself, not work with a real estate agent. Phase 2 FSBO has warmed up to the idea, at least in theory, and they're getting antsy to sell their home, and they have likely agreed that they'll pay you for if you bring a buyer, but they haven't decided to list with you yet. Okay, that is phase 2. Now, at this stage, at the phase 2 FSBO stage, is perfect for enhancing the listing. Input more information, give them more information about the property and how they can do it, such as better ways to stage the home, create a curb appeal, and entice buyers. You can gently point out to them that you have the skills and the resources to do this for them, but also recognize that they might take your advice and do it themselves. Okay, that's very important to know at phase 2. You want to provide it with as much information, enhance the process, but again, they could do it themselves. Not have them feel like only you can do this. So you're more into a training mode here. Now, these people, if you do this, they will appreciate, for example, some of the things that you could do for them. It would be like photo examples of what professional listings photos could look like. And you can show them examples of your own listings that you have done in the past, maybe company listings. If you have a good pictures, send it their way. Have them see it, the value that you can bring. You can also give them tips for staging, creating curb appeal, and hosting showings. Often, this can be done in person, and you can explain to them the process of going with a showing a property. Or you can use examples of other listings in the area to question whether their own listing is good enough. So use this to your favor. So this is phase 2. Again, this is when you're actually enhancing the listing process. And number 3, and my favorite, is the sales pitch, right? That is phase 3, when they're open to work with an agent. So again, Once the FSBO is ready to list, you can finally provide them with a full sales pitch of why hiring you is the best strategy to getting their home sold for top dollar. Okay, this is the best phase. Now, these people will appreciate that you show them proof of your own experience in selling homes for more money. And you can use this as a bonus. You can show them listings, especially if you have worked with for sales feasibles in the past. You can show them exactly the process or the steps that you took to be able to get this home sold for more money. Also, you can use background and credentials for marketing a home and shepherding the transaction. You can show them proof that your expertise will make their home sell for more money, right? And you can also show them that they can sell it faster and lucrative than they ever thought possible. So keep that in mind. So I hope that by now, to this point in our Facebook guide, you can understand that the importance of having a marketing process. And I'm sure Steve can agree with being here, the importance of having a marketing in place, right? Having a structure. Now, I understand how real estate agents often they do things. I mean, I'm an agent myself, but we know how salespeople love to sometimes wing it instead of establishing a firm process. But hear me out for a second. A process will help you convert more leads. Whatever you're doing, if it is phone calls or letter writing, having a process in place will help you convert more leads. You need to have a process for following up with FSBOs, right? And your taxes needs to be spaced out. So all that comes into play as well. If you're gonna send a letter, how soon are you gonna reach out to them? If you're gonna call them, how soon are you gonna follow up with more information or comparables or a text? The follow up, work on your follow up. When it comes to FSBO, for example, I listed a property in Stanley Park. We're getting the listing next door. I reached out to the person at the very stage one. She decided she didn't want to work with a seller, with a realtor. But then she was praising the house way overpriced because she thought that's how much the house is worth, and she has her own opinion about her home. Once we got our home under contract, again, at every stage of the transaction, in this particular case, I was informing her where we were at. That way she can see the appraisal process. She can see the inspection process. She could see after all the contingencies were met. She can see the type of buyer that's buying the property. All that help us give her more information and build rapport and build confidence. And now she decided to, okay, I'm ready to list the property. So guess who's just gonna consult? She's gonna consult us because we're already next door to her for once, but we helped her make a better decision throughout the process. But all that took a lot of marketing effort because the same marketing that we use for one house, we were showing it to her exactly the type of marketing we'll provide to her if she decides to help to sell the house with us. Again, as much information that you can provide, just know that all the effort that you do to help them, you gotta continue and following up. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to convert it. So thank you so much for staying tuned with us for our Real Estate Friday for the FSBO guide. This was part 4 today, what we discussed, and it had to do with having a marketing in place, having a structure, and a campaign that will actually help you convert more listings and for sale by owner leads. So friends, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for our next week on Monday. We have Mindset Monday. And we always come to you every Monday to give you more information, to give you some motivation and entice you and help you to be able to close more deals. Steve, anything you want to add?
Yes, Stalon, I put in the chat, can people learn more strategies like this in maybe a book or something that you put together?
Yes, sir. There is a book called The Ultimate Guide to Becoming a Top Producing Agent. Now, all the strategies, all the stuff that you see there, they're better explained or written, and they have examples and cases that you can find in this book right here, The Ultimate Guide of Becoming a Top Producing Agent. And you can download it completely free. If you haven't, great. If you haven't, please, you can go to dailanrubido.com. It's in there. You can get the digital version, or you can swing by the office and get your copy. We have it here, and maybe we can sit down and talk strategies, stuff that you can implement right now in your business or we can start working on some for sale by owners. I am eager to start working with somebody on this campaigns and stuff that we can put together and get more listings. All right. Anything else, Steve?
Yes, if anyone is interested in joining us or learning more about what we do here at Broker Nation, make sure that you check us out. I just put it in the chat at joinbrokernation.net. There's a lot of information there on our blog. There's some past episodes of some videos like this, some of the recordings. So make sure you check that out and reach out to us if you want to learn anything more about working with Daylon and the rest of our agents at Broker Nation and Broker Nation Doral.
So the site again is www.joinbrokernation.net. Go there for more information. If you're not with us, you can definitely read more about us, more information about the company, what we offer, the type of strategies and everything that we put in together for you and how you can advance your career in the real estate industry. So again, joinbrokernation.net. If you want to see and go back, this is today was part 4 of our for sale by owner listing guide. If you want to go back and see the 1, 2, and 3, or this one, feel free to reach out to us. You can send an email to steve@brokernation.net or myself, Dailan, at brokernation.net. And we'll be more than happy to share the link with you so you can have access and see the recording of the past trainings or this one and learn more how you can put a listing presentation for sale by owner, have a full guide of how to work with Feasibles. If you haven't worked with Feasibles before, this is a great opportunity to start learning how you can do this and implement it in your business. Guys, once again, thank you so much for joining us today. Stay tuned for the recording. Again, feel free to request it. Steve just put the information in the chat. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday. So register for that. And you can go to brokernation.events, not .com, like Steve says, .events. So that is www.brokernation.events. So go register, invite a friend, and I hope to see you guys on Monday. Have a safe weekend, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everyone. I ask you all to unmute and just say goodbye, wave, and tell everyone have a great weekend.
Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye, Jane.
Be
Bye,
safe.
everyone.
See you. Bye, Maritza.
Bye, Esther,
everybody.
Jane, Maureen.
Bye, Steve.